So, did you know that as software engineers, we're wasting a massive 30 to 40% of our time writing repetitive boilerplate code instead of actually solving real business problems? Seriously, just think about that for a second. That is almost half of your entire work week just completely drained by ceremonial scaffolding. And honestly, it gets worse. I want you to ask yourself, are you tired of navigating over-engineered, heavily layered abstractions? You probably know the exact feeling I'm talking about. You open up a project and tracing a simple request feels like trying to cut through a giant, rigid, baked-in plate of pasta just to find the core logic. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the sources to demystify modern software architecture together. We're going to explore exactly how we can eliminate all that developer toil, rethink our design patterns, and structure our applications so they actually work for us and not against us. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the code complexity trap, move into clean architecture as the traditional gold standard, and then check out vertical slices for feature-first design. After that, we'll break down CQRS for separating reads and writes, and finally, look at how to banish that boilerplate code for good. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this first big issue, which is the shared frustration of modern enterprise development. The crux of the problem is summed up perfectly by a quote from our sources. The object-oriented version of spaghetti code is, of course, lasagna code. Think about it. For years, the whole industry desperately ran away from messy procedural spaghetti code where everything was just hopelessly tangled together. But in our noble quest for order, we kind of trapped ourselves in strict horizontal layers. We accidentally baked lasagna code, forcing ourselves to write all this repetitive scaffolding just to pass data through layers that a lot of the time don't even add any actual business value. So, how did we try to fix this? Well, that brings us to the traditional heavyweight champion of software design: clean architecture. Fundamentally, this is a layered approach designed specifically to separate your business rules from your input/output mechanisms. The absolute golden rule here is dependency direction. Your inner circles, which hold the pure domain logic, know absolutely nothing about the outer circles like the UI or the database. And as the sources point out, there's this crucial main component sitting at the very edge of the system. This component is the ultimate detail. It oversees everything, instantiates your factories, and wires up all the dependency injections before finally handing control over to the high-level logic. But clean architecture definitely has its critics. If you listen to real-world complaints from senior developers, some pretty serious pain points pop up. The layering can be overly prescriptive. Doing a simple fetch can require wiring functionality through multiple layers, controllers, services, repositories, just for a basic feature. It can also lead to this God-object domain coupling, where your core domain entities get massive and slow because they're evolving to handle every single request in the app. Plus, relying on abstractions for absolutely every type, that leads to brittle, mock-heavy tests and can easily trigger absolute nightmares with circular dependencies between your class libraries. Which naturally leads us to a highly energetic challenger that tackles this exact layer fatigue head-on. Enter vertical slice architecture, or VSA. This approach completely flips the script. Instead of organizing your code by technical layers, you organize it by features. You're keeping all the logic for a single request in one highly cohesive spot. And if you think about it, this lines up perfectly with how business requests are actually made in the real world. When your product manager asks for a new feature, they aren't asking for a new service layer. They want a specific capability. With VSA, adding a new feature literally just means adding new code in its own little slice, rather than forcing risky changes across a bunch of shared, fragile, horizontal layers. What's really fascinating here is pitting these two approaches head-to-head. With clean architecture, your code is grouped by layer, so all your controllers are living together, all your services are together. But with VSA, the code is grouped by feature, so an update patient feature has its very own slice containing exactly what it needs and absolutely nothing more. This drastically cuts down on indirection. A junior developer doesn't have to trace a single request through 5 different files anymore. They just open that one feature slice and boom, everything is right there. Now, let's zoom in a bit and look at how we actually handle complex data models within these architectures. This brings us to CQRS, which stands for Command Query Responsibility Segregation. At its core, this pattern means dividing your system into 2 completely separate models. You have one for commands. These handle your state-changing operations like writing or modifying data. And you have another for queries, which strictly retrieve data without modifying the system state at all. By splitting these up, you proactively prevent performance bottlenecks. If your app is getting absolutely hammered with read traffic but only sees occasional writes, CQRS lets your read and write workloads scale and evolve completely independently. It's a huge game changer. Of course, if you're running two models, you might end up with two databases. Let's quickly walk through how CQRS handles that database synchronization asynchronously. Step 1, you execute a write operation to your command database, which is your strict source of truth. Step 2, the system generates an event describing exactly what just changed, something like order created. Step 3, your highly optimized query database is listening for that event and updates its own read-optimized view. And step 4, you get eventual consistency. The read database might have a tiny delay, but it will eventually sync up, giving you blazing fast read performance without ever locking up your write database. So what does this all mean for you? Well, the crucial point is knowing when to use which tool, because there's definitely no one-size-fits-all answer here. For a simple app, traditional layers or a basic transaction script might be totally fine. But if you're dealing with a highly complex domain packed with intricate business rules, clean architecture is fantastic for keeping that domain pure. Dealing with a high read-write imbalance, CQRS is for sure your best friend. And if you're looking for feature-driven agility that easily grows with your business, vertical slice architecture is incredibly compelling. You really just need to treat these as different tools in your tool belt. Okay, let's zoom all the way down to the microcoding level and look at some actionable techniques we can use immediately. We have all been here, right? 50 lines of getters, setters, equals, and hash code methods just to hold 3 simple fields. It is absolute absurdity. Traditional plain old Java objects, or POJOs, can cause up to a 60% line count blow in enterprise applications. All that ceremonial scaffolding just buries your actual domain logic and makes the codebase significantly harder to read and maintain. But check out the modern solution to this problem. The contrast is just brilliant. Instead of writing verbose POJOs that take up dozens of lines, we now have modern constructs like Java 16 records, C# 9 records, or Python data classes. By utilizing these built-in data constructs, you're letting the compiler do the heavy lifting. It automatically synthesizes all those constructors and methods for you, completely condensing thousands of lines of boilerplate across your project into clean, single-line declarations. It is amazing. And here are a few more boilerplate killers you absolutely should be using. First up, generic types. These give you compile time type safety and completely eliminate repetitive manual casting. Next, functional stream APIs. These let you replace those verbose, heavily scaffolded loops with clean pipelines that express exactly what you intend to do. Finally, annotation processors, like Project Lombok for Java. These magically inject missing code like builders and getters right at compile time. Eliminating all this scaffolding directly speeds up your pull request cycles and it drops your defect rates, simply because there's less code to break. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on regarding your own code base. Are you building for your features, or are you just building layers? Next time you sit down to code, I challenge you to eliminate that unnecessary scaffolding. Question the lasagna code. Aim for high cohesion and zero boilerplate. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through modern software architecture. Now get out there and build something brilliant.